Good morning, everyone. My name is Ellen Quadgrass. I'm the minister here, and I want to welcome you all to a very special service today, imagined, created, and led by our very own coming-of-age youth on the topic of discovery of beliefs. And while they have been discovering their beliefs, I got to discover a little bit about them. They are smart and funny and playful and wholehearted and passionate about what they care about. And I'm so pleased that they get to share a little bit about themselves and who they are with all of you today. Please note, in case you missed the announcement, our COVID guidelines for in-person worship have changed due to the raised numbers in our area. So we will all be masked. Our speakers will be masked this morning, and we ask all of you to be masked. I see most of you got the memo. So that's wonderful. And I now want to invite our remote DRE, Jessica Hess, forward.
Good morning. My name is Jessica Hess, and I am your remote DRE, but the blessings of this weekend is that I am not remote. I am here, and I am so grateful to be here with you all. Yesterday was an exciting day for our coming-of-age youth, as well as a few of our coming-of-age mentors and Reverend Ellen and myself. We traveled into Boston and got some wonderful Unitarian history, some Universalist history, and we learned a lot. We got to tour King's Chapel. We had a great time. So if you're ever in Boston and, unsure what to do and you're not really up for a baseball game, go on the tour. It's really amazing. So I also got to learn a lot about our youth, and it's just such a blessing to be in their company. They're awesome kids. I hope you stick around after for some snacks and conversation. And with that, we will start our service.
Hi, my name is Vivian, and I will be sharing the announcements this morning.
The chalice is the symbol of our faith, and our chalice lighting marks the beginning of our worship service. I will light mine and share our reading. And then if you are online, I invite you to light yours, if you have one. And if you like, you can use the chat to post the name of the street where your chalice was lit. Our chalice lighting reading this morning is by Leslie Pohl Cosbow. Flame of fire, spark of the universe, that warmed our ancestral hearth. Agent of life and death, symbol of truth and freedom. We strive to understand ourselves and our earthly home.
Our opening words today come from an anonymous author. May we be reminded here of our highest aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love and service to the altar of humanity. May we once again know that we are not isolated beings, but connected in mystery and miracle to the universe, to this community, and to each other. Please rise in body or in spirit as you are able and join in singing our opening hymn, number 368, Now Let Us Sing.
I invite you to join me as we say our affirmation together. Love is the spirit of this church, and service our mission. This is our great covenant to dwell together in peace, to seek the true in love, and to help one another.
Today, I am introducing an activity that will tie together 6 worship services at Westminster, 2 that have already taken place, and 4 that will take place today and over the next month. Together, we will, as a congregation, create a physical representation of our commitments and connections not only to this place, but to Unitarian Universalism and all those things that tie us together. I want to thank our DRE, Jessica Hess, who brings her wonderful gift of fabric arts to help us create something beautiful together. Those 2 services that have already happened already have some ties in place. You will notice some lovely strings and some other ties to those strings. That first service with red ties was our quilting service, which I will show you for those who may not remember or were not here. This was our very first service of the year, our water communion service, and momentarily that will show up on our screen any second now. Or not. You can imagine what that quilt might have looked like. It was beautiful. We quilted it together with our own hopes and visions for the year, and these ties, which are red, represent the foundation of Westminster and the history of all that came before. Thank you, Beth. Maybe that's the problem. Yes, that's the problem. It turned itself off. Beautiful. Teamwork. If you look closely, you will see that some of those red ties, which, by the way, represent love, the red is the symbol for universal love, they're tied a little loosely so that our bridgers, a couple services from now, can take some of those ties with them, so they will always know they have history here. You may also notice that in addition to the red, there are also some orange ties, which represent the visioning service that we all participated in together back in March. Some of those are loose and some are tight, representing the flame or the spark of ideas, and that will pop into the, we'll see the, yes, there we go. These were the words that came out of that visioning service, all put together in a word cloud. So as you can see, connection was a big one and community was a big one for folks here. So those words and those hopes and those ideas are represented by orange ties to represent that spark or flame of ideas that you will carry into the future of this place as you live your UU values. And then today, you will notice you all have a yellow ribbon that you received when you walked into the service today. And if you are at home and would like to participate, we will have extras. You can come by anytime this week. Just make sure someone is here and you can tie your yellow ribbon after the service. So today is Coming of Age, Discovery of Beliefs, as the values and beliefs of Westminster's young people begin to emerge. And as they begin to carry their yellow flame out into the larger world, we are all reminded of our own beliefs and our own inner flame. So today, after service, right after it ends, you will all be invited forward to tie your yellow ribbon and show your commitment and presence here. But first, our youth will do that after they do each of their credo shares today. And then in the future, we will tie in our bridging service as mentioned, also for a recognition service. And then that very last service I will lead on June 19th before we each take all we have gained and learned and begin to lead our journeys separately, even while we remain connected and we represent our connections and our ties through this beautiful artwork that we will have created together. But back to today, we lift up our wonderful coming-of-age youth as they share more with us about their discovery of beliefs and their vision of what that looks like in our time for all ages.
For this part of the service, we will perform the Macarena. The Macarena is a Spanish dance song sung by a Latin pop group called Los Del Rio. In 1993, RCA Records remixed the song, which made these dance moves popular. We want to recognize all the contributing artists and acknowledge these Latinx cultures that this song and dance come from. We have found that this dance fits almost any song. The reason that the Macarena dance can fit in with many songs is because this song is based on its 4/4 time, or 4 beats per bar. In short, almost all songs in our hymnal are in this category of 4 beats per bar, making this dance really compatible. In a minute, we will ask you to join us in this dance that connects us all. In this way, the Macarena dance can teach us a lesson about connection, since you can dance it to most songs. Connection is a big part of coming of age in our UU principles, which is also why we have connection groups, playing a big role in our community. This is why we have decided to use the Macarena as part of our service today to serve a symbol of connection in this congregation. Alex and Roz will now perform a demonstration of the Macarena, if you don't already know it. We will then ask you to join us. You'll be now dancing the Macarena to Enter the Feel comfortable. We invite you to rise in body or in spirit to join us in singing and dancing.
So it's back. So here we go. All right, Jillian, it's all yours.
Oh, I was told I wouldn't have to say this, but okay. I'll read it. As we gather in community, we carry life's hurts and its great joys. If you are facing a difficult time, please know that our pastoral care associates are available to lend a listening ear, and Reverend Ellen is always available for pastoral counseling. Contact information is in the chat and in the order of service.
In the sacred silence of our hearts. And let us all, online and in person, gather our hearts and minds in a spirit of prayer and meditation, centering on words adapted from Reverend Andy Pakula. Spirit of life, silent strength within and around us, God of many names. We come together today from many different places and perspectives, from different beliefs and understandings. We bring all that we are, even as we seek for more depth, more clarity, more connection, more creativity, more purpose. Each of us carries our unique gifts, a healing touch, a compassionate heart, an infectious passion, a listening ear, an ability to create beauty of sound or sight, a talent for turning dreams into reality. We come to minister to one another and to be ministered to. Each one here can be both healer and healed when we journey together in love. May we be the community we aspire together to be. Amen. May it be so. Let us join in our song and response. You may remain seated for this hymn. It's number 123, Spirit of Life.
Our May Share the Plate is the Sharing Lockers Farmers Market. For 4 years, the Sharing Locker has partnered with West Bay Community Action, URI's SNAP Food Assistance Outreach, and the West Bay Farm. Together, they provided farm fresh produce between July and October to our Sharing Locker clients, many of whom lack access to fresh, healthy produce. During the pandemic, the $15 vouchers were curtailed. We are looking to close the gap to continue the farmers market effort in this upcoming season. The other half goes to offering support and all other good work of the community. You can donate using the link that is now being put in the chat. If you are here in person, we ask that you use your cell phone to click on the donate button on the Westminster website, or you can leave your offering in the box on the table after the service. The offering will now be given and received with gratitude.
Our responsive reading is number 657 in our gray hymnal entitled It Matters What We Believe by Sophia Lyon Foz. I will read the regular text and you will respond with the italicized text. Number 657. Some beliefs are like walled gardens. They encourage exclusiveness and the feeling of being especially privileged. Some beliefs are like shadows, clouding children's days with fears of unknown calamities. Some beliefs are divisive, separating the saved from the unsaved, friends from enemies. Some beliefs are like blinders, shutting off the power to choose one's own direction. Some beliefs weaken a person's selfhood. They blight the growth of resourcefulness. Some beliefs are rigid, like the body of death, impotent in a changing world.
I'm Amy Prisco, and along with Carson Camry, had the privilege of facilitating coming of age. A shared understanding that faith can be found in many places is core to being UU. Faith can be found in a god or gods. It can be found in science. It can be found within ourselves, and it can be sought, but never be found at all, just to name a few. This discernment is what drew many of us to this church in the first place. But I've only experienced this understanding as an adult. It is with gratitude that my role as a facilitator for COA has given me a window into the discovery of potential sources of faith as youth travel from RE towards young adulthood. While Carson is a veteran facilitator, this 18-month cycle was my first. It's been unique, to say the least. Together, we facilitated two cohorts in a year and a half, and the experiences were wildly different from one another. The first cohort began in January 2021 and was completely remote. We had to devise ways for a complex and personal curriculum, one that required vulnerability and trust, and to take place over Zoom. A true challenge, and one I can confidently say that Carson and I won't attempt again anytime soon. Coming of age, we found out, is not a rite of passage that should be undertaken online from tiny little squares on a screen. The second cohort, the youth with us this morning, and 2 at home, began in March of 2022 and was entirely in person until today. But in a fragile and newly constructed world. Both avenues walked down were uncomfortably novel, embraced by brave youth and embarked upon by mostly ridiculous facilitators. Together, we had to find our way through a soupy fog of not knowing. The only way through that fog was faith. In a moment, you will hear the credos of this coming of age cohort, a group of intelligent youth, filled to the brim with amazing talents, award-winning musicians, athletes, actors, historians, gamers, scouts, and poets. This group has laughed together around campfires, assembled birthday bags for sharing locker, crawled into the crypts below King's Chapel in Boston, and have narrowly escaped a riddle room. They are an introspective though guarded group, and I, as eager as you are, to hear them articulate their own thoughts on faith, religion, or what they find is their beacon of light in dark times.
My name is Wallace Dawson Alexander. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm 14 years old. I'm in 8th grade at Cole Middle School. My family has been attending Westminster for nearly 6 years now. I enjoy reading, baking, and playing music on various instruments, as well as learning foreign languages. When I was asked to write my credo, I had no idea what to write. My beliefs have never been concrete, and the idea of writing a solid faith statement made me nervous. Luckily, I soon learned that a faith statement didn't necessarily have to be my credo. So I decided to play a musical piece instead. Today, I will be playing a jazz piano piece called Mr. Trumpet Man. I decided to play this piece because I've grown up surrounded by music of all types, and it has become an essential part of my life. This is my favorite music to play. Since faith is something that you should enjoy, the song I choose to represent my faith should be one I enjoy playing. Now, without further ado, this is Mr. Trumpet Man.
Oh, it is my turn. Okay. Good morning. My name is Jillian Prisco, and this is my credo. I deal with everything with humor. I'm the funny friend, the one who minimizes their feelings with a joke without really realizing it. Even during COA, with the discussion of death and the afterlife, we had one class. I heard myself make a joke about wanting to be a ghost for selfish reasons. While this is somewhat true, it was really more of a deflection off of a topic that I'm not really comfortable discussing. As I sat down to write my credo, I found the same thing happening. Topics and ideas that expose vulnerability tended to be the ones more watered down with humor. I decided that this wasn't a perfect representation of me, my beliefs, or the credo I have written. Ultimately, I decided to omit some of those prompts that I feel I can't confidently discuss. I don't want my humor to lessen the depth of my true feelings or the truth that my classmates will be sharing today. With that being said, during the making of the credo, I didn't know what direction I wanted to go in. I knew I had the ability to write, but something about trying to pin the blobby, spinning shape of my feelings onto a page seemed like a mountain I couldn't climb. I'd love to say how I was able to climb this mountain, to graciously pen the most eloquent piece of writing ever heard, describing my beliefs in detail and leaving the congregation in shock at how a 14-year-old could be so definitive in their words. But that's not the case. I don't have a word for what I believe in, a way to define how I feel, and frankly, I think trying to force my teenage self into coming up with that is almost impossible. I know that everyone, no matter what, deserves basic human respect. However, if the thoughts, actions, or beliefs of a person or religion invalidate someone or my own existence, that I cannot respect them for simply existing. I know that I have no idea what happens after I die. Any idea of what might happen, especially through religion, intimidating or reassuring, is a human attempt at filling that void of the unknown. I know these things, but how could I possibly stick the goopy tornado of the rest of my thinking into a box with a pretty label when that tornado could grow and break its container, shattering glass everywhere? How can I tie it all up in a bow when that blobby shape is a changing liquid, not something I can grasp? How can I be sure of what I think now, when even I myself change a little every day? As I wrote this, I filled the page with I don't knows as I tried to do just that, put myself into a box. I realized that although I do have beliefs, they aren't structured, rather loose and ever-changing. They're feelings, the very thing I was scared of writing about. They are the ethics and morals of the actions and activities that get me through the day. They're the things I go to when I need help, even when I need a distraction. They're always constant in my life, just as a religion might be for someone else. They are guidelines and morals unburdened to the rest of society. My faith is personal, my faith is ever-changing, and it is unlabeled. My faith is mine.
Good morning. My name is Evan Weiser. I use the pronouns he, him, and I play the cello. As well as playing the cello, I'm a swimmer and a diver. This year, I had the great opportunity to participate in this year's Coming of Age program. Throughout the year, I've reflected upon myself, on what I believe, and how it shapes my life. One of the questions I was asked followed along the lines of who or what shaped me into being me. While I contemplated this question, I realized that everyone and everything I encounter or meet shapes me to who I am. My family, of course, pops right into my mind, not only because I spend an enormous amount of time with them, but because they were the people who helped me understand myself. But this list isn't only limited to my family. This list also includes this wonderful church community, current events, and people who I don't even know. Each individual person shapes me into the person I call myself. During the year, the topic of faith came up quite a bit. I understand faith as this simple sentence, the act of being confident and devout to anything. This anything could be a god, a celestial being, or a banana for all I know. For me, personally, my faith is trying to be the best version of myself. This is a major driving force of my core beliefs and values. In short, my beliefs are always changing. One day here, the next day gone. But I think about it like this. Bear with me. When I was born, I had a complete puzzle, blank from each corner. But the moment I started to take everything in, this changed. The puzzle started blank, but started to gain colors. The puzzle will never, ever be complete, and it's always missing the pieces that fell underneath the table waiting to be found. Every time a part of me changes, or I realize something else different or new, a new piece is added to the puzzle. Eventually, if I were to take this analogy and put it into a picture, it would look like a puzzle that is mixed with another puzzle, mixed with another puzzle, and so on. A space puzzle mixed with a puzzle of all the state capitals, you get the picture. It looks messy, but with close inspection, each one of those pieces is part of a value and a belief. And every so often, a piece is removed and a piece is added. This is different for everyone, but the center of my puzzle is a large piece with many ways for other pieces to fit in. And that large piece is this: be the best you can be every second of every minute of every hour for as long as you live. I have this memory this year of the coming of age group coming to church to sit around a fire to talk about death, while eating s'mores, of course. It was definitely one of the harder topics we talked about, but it felt refreshing when we were done. I remember not being happy, but content talking about death. I had experienced death multiple times and understood it for the most that I can right now. I remember thinking about death a lot after my grandfather died, keeping to myself. I felt scared and tired of being scared for thinking about death for so long. Please don't take this the wrong way, but I realized that death didn't matter. Let me explain. Death was what gave meaning to life. I came to understand that life was meaningless without death. But life was then meaningless if I wasn't being the best version of myself as possible. This is confusing for sure, but in my mind, death shouldn't be something that we are scared of. It should be something that should be embraced, because when we die, we should know that we were the best person we could be. I also remember going to school and people talking about going to church. Lots of the times they were complaining about how they had to wake up early every Sunday. Every now and then, people would ask what church each of us would go to. I remember there were a lot of people who were Catholic, Christian, and Jewish. Every now and then you would hear someone say something a little different, like they were Buddhist, but everyone knew somewhat of what they were. When it came to me, I would say, I'm part of a Unitarian Universalist church, and everyone would stare at me with blank faces. No one knew what that was. I would explain that it was like other religions, where we came together to worship, but, I would say, everyone there gets to choose their beliefs, and everyone's beliefs are respected. Some people, I remember, were very shocked, which I guess is a good thing, because now they'll contemplate it for a very long time, if not forever. One of my favorite discussions we had during a coming of age get-together was our connections to the congregation. My favorite ways of getting to know more people and making bonds with them was through activities. This was all pre-COVID, of course, but I still have these vibrant memories in my head. I remember the Friday night game nights, the movie analysis, and above all, the chili cook-off. Throughout the years, especially now in the past few, there have been bigger and bigger social justice groups. I support many of them, like the Black Lives Matter movement, deforestation, and poverty, to name a few. I realize that these social justice movements reflect my values. Each of them are trying to create the best version of the world for everyone, but they all perform this act in many ways. Just like how each person has a different puzzle of values that works only for them. Everybody has unique beliefs and values, just like me. Please rise in body or in spirit as you are able to join me in singing hymn number 131, Love Will Guide Us.
Please be seated.
Hello, my name is Ronan Hevenor. I'm 14 years old, and my pronouns are he, him. I'm a student, a programmer, a Boy Scout, a pianist, a sailor, and a gardener. My family's been coming here for about 7 years, and in each of those years, I've taken another step in the RE program. This year, I was part of the Coming of Age program, and we had a great time. We've done fun activities like going to an escape room and having a fire pit. Through some of the things we've done, such as learning about different ideas about what happens after death, I've gotten to know myself and my beliefs better than I did before. Defined in the dictionary, faith means that you have complete trust or confidence in someone or something. I believe that it comes down to people's individual beliefs to decide who or what to place their own faith in. I also believe in placing faith on or value on treating one another with kindness and love in order to make the world a better and safer place. And I try to live these values every day. I also believe in valuing the role nature plays in our lives and striving to protect it and help it grow. In return, the natural world gives us a place to live and grow ourselves. Recently, I've become mindful of a voice in my head that yells at me when I do something that goes against my core values. After last year's Compass Points RE class, I've realized that this is my moral compass. I've also noticed that when I listen to it, I feel really good about myself afterward. As I wrote these values that I believe in and try to live every day, I realized that they somewhat correspond to the UU Rainbow principles, and by living them, we can make the world a better place. These values that I have learned throughout the RE program here have shaped the person I am today and will help me as I continue on my faith journey.
I'll hold the choices, James. Is that okay?
Are you able to hold that?
Um,
Or is that supposed to stick?
yeah, we need to keep that there. Could I hold this for you here?
Okay.
Okay. Not to worry. How's that?
That's good.
Is it where you want it, or do you want to go up higher? You're good?
Yeah, this is...
Okay. There you go.
Hello? My name is James Seal. I am 16 years old, and I prefer the pronoun he, him. I enjoy building and putting things together because my dad was a woodworker when I was younger, and he made a whole lot of different things with wood. Although I don't build with wood directly, I still like putting IKEA furniture together and building with more technical Lego bricks. I am very virtual and am kind of modernist. I like using a virtual platform on basically anything I can use a virtual platform on. I like typing over writing because it's easier for me and my hand when I type. Whatever video games I own are rather important to me because personally sandbox games that I watch people play or play myself in a way relieve some of my stress on a day-to-day basis. But hopefully in the future I will get more attached to these video games. Ever since I watched Tron Legacy, the movie's landscape and architecture mesmerized me into making me a huge fan of various concepts of futuristic architecture and design. Because of this, my current mind has a lot of futuristic ideas and concepts that I just can't stop thinking about. My love for this out of our time agriculture is immeasurable. I just can't get enough of the fan art that comes up every single time I look up futuristic something. UU helps me connect with friends in ways that more generalized situations... more generalized situations I wouldn't be able to do myself. The third principle in UU helps me, including other kids, connect with each other in a positive way, helping me make friends easier. A fact that I'm relatively antisocial is quite important to me. I have issues making proper friends in general conditions, and is greatly affecting my social life. At times, I wish I could fix this issue at any time, but I just don't know how. All of this is probably due to my autism. But hopefully I can fix this in the future. My beliefs toward everything I'm learning in UU are important to me, and the many kids my age that are in this church. Everything about faith, value, connection is vital for me and the UU community to work as a community.
Well done, James. Don't forget your ribbon.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vivian Ives. I'm 15 years old, and I am a student, dancer, musician, Girl Scout, and I am a part of the Westminster Unitarian Universalist Church community. This year, as a part of coming of age, I had the time to discover and reflect on my beliefs. During this time, I have come to a very interesting conclusion, a conclusion that has taken since 2012 to come to, when I began coming to this church. A few months ago, when I was explaining what Unitarian Universalism is to a friend, they jokingly responded by asking, "So basically, they teach you how not to be a horrible person?" And although it was an extreme oversimplification, they weren't wrong. For the longest time, I believed that to belong in a UU church, you had to have faith in a higher power. This is true for many other religions, which center their system of beliefs around the existence and teachings of a higher power. While Unitarian Universalism does have a belief system, it is centered around 7 principles. 7 principles which every Unitarian Universalist has concluded are principles that, when followed, will lead you to be the best person you can be. This, the belief that by following these principles you can become a better person, is the same conclusion I have come to. However, I also realize that even though I have only now come to this conclusion, I have been learning to follow these principles my whole life. The first and second principles, the inherent worth and dignity of every person, and justice, equity, and compassion in human relations, I have learned from my mom, who has taught me to find the good in every person and treat them just as well as I hope to be treated. The third principle, acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations, I have learned from my classmates and teachers here at Westminster, who have shown me a world of many beliefs and taught me how to accept these differences and even learn from them. The fourth principle, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, I have learned from both of my parents, who have encouraged me to discover my path in the world and continue to learn throughout my whole life. The fifth and sixth principles, the right of conscience and the use of democratic processes within our congregations and society at large, and the goal of a world community with peace, liberty, and justice from all, I have learned from being in Girl Scouts, where we make decisions as a troop about how to improve our community. And the seventh principle, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part of, I have learned simply from living in this world and observing how connected I am with other people and this planet itself. These 7 principles extend far beyond our congregation and have led me as I've grown up. Unitarian Universalism is a way of living your life, a way that anyone, from any background or religion, even an atheist like myself, can follow. Thank you.
My name is Alex Camry. I'm 14 years old and I use any pronouns. My credo is a poem, and though a part of me regrets my inability to clearly state myself like many of my peers, it represents me and something I enjoyed creating. My family has belonged to this church for about 9 years now. I've been here a long time, long enough to be unsure where my own beliefs end and where the 7 principles start. When I was asked to write a credo, like many of my peers, I didn't know where to begin. I was confused and unsure how much of myself was a product of my surroundings, so I decided to skip the explanation of my beliefs that I had originally planned, as I wasn't sure how many were truly my own. I instead chose to focus on my feelings right now, and I wrote a poem based solely on my emotions. I left my thoughts on evil and spirits and gods behind, making room for myself, and I wrote it all down in a poem called The Truth Is. The truth is, some things are better left unsaid, things like death or gods or meaning. When life is a quest and knowing is the end, sometimes I'd rather not know than pretend. Like when fate can take you only so far, or when my feelings are better bottled up in a jar, or when I'm sad, so I pray, never honestly expecting anyone to say, "Don't worry, you're fine," or for someone to give me proof of some big thing looking down from the sky. But the truth is, I'm just spinning these useless words to distract from the knowledge that I'm scared and alone, and the world is rushing by and everyone seems to know everything except for me.
So we now want to take a moment of the work of our coming of age youth, of their clarity and the courage that it took to write and share their credos of support and well wishes. Together, we now mark this milestone in your life and your spiritual journey. So I invite our coming of age youth to stand here or at home. Let me see if I can get our folks at home on the screen. TV needs to be turned on. Thank you so much, Carson. Yeah, here. Perfect. My friends, we witness this venture towards your future.
I invite our mentors to stand. We offer gratitude for mentors who have helped guide you, showing you their own learnings and questions, pointing the way toward your own. We hope that the gift of their caring will sustain you and that their friendships have begun in this time will grow and bridge the generations.
I invite our coming of age parents to stand as well. We offer our gratitude for parents who send you on your life path with their support and hopes. We offer gratitude, we witness the gift of their love and the freedom to become who you are becoming. Parents and mentors, please be seated. You get to keep standing. You have such good, strong ability to stand.
I invite our coming of age facilitators to stand. We offer gratitude for leaders who listen and lead, create and support. We witness the gift of your confidence in yourselves and your wishes for our youth that will bring them their heart's desire. Thank you. Facilitators, please be seated.
And this is all of our wish for you, that from this community you will have received the gift of illuminated direction and the knowledge that you will always have a spiritual home.
May you receive these gifts as special treasures from those who care about you. We know that in return you offer the gift of yourselves, as you are and as you are becoming.
May we all grow through this process of loving, sharing, and becoming. And we have a few concrete gifts for you, which we will hand out after the service. And now you may be, well, actually, we're all going to stand now for our closing hymn, Rising in Body or in Spirit as you are able, and we will sing together 1064 in your teal hymnal, which is being handed out right now. Thank you so much ushers and other volunteer helpers. This is Blue Boat Home, and the lyrics are being posted in the chat as well.
Our closing words are by Kathleen McTeague. May the light around us guide our footsteps. And hold us fast the best and most righteous that we seek. May the darkness around us nurture our dreams and give us rest, so that we give ourselves to the work of our world. Let us seek to remember the wholeness of our lives, the light and shadow in this great and astonishing dance in which we move.
And we now join, you may be seated. Oh no, you may continue standing because we're going to do the Macarena one more time. Don't go before you tie your yellow ribbon to the beautiful loom before you go. Oh yes. Note that you will be on camera as you tie your ribbon.